Welcome to Discovering. Tonight we're digging for copper at the Caledonia Mine.
And it's whatever is in that pile is yours to take home.
So sit back and relax. It's Monday night and it's time for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
There are many things that make the Upper Peninsula special. The Great Lakes, the people, the rivers, the forests, and the fact that the hills and ridges from the tip of the Keweenaw Peninsula to the Porcupine Mountains are embedded with pure native copper. Across the western UP, you can tour some of the biggest copper mines and even go underground to see firsthand where the miners chiseled, hammered, and blasted the rocks to extract the copper-laden ore. At one particular mine site, you can dig through this ore that miners left behind for copper, silver, and other precious minerals, and you can keep anything you find.
Truly, whatever is in the pile is yours to take.
This one-of-a-kind experience is at the Caledonia Mine near Mass City. The Caledonia Mine sits on the north side of a bluff bearing the same name, overlooking an incredible view of forests as far as the eye can see. The Caledonia Mine is run by a team of siblings. It was started by their late father, Emmanuel Manos.
So my dad actually was a mining engineer who graduated from Michigan Tech and then worked down in Detroit Salt for many, many years. And his retirement plan for fun was to move up here and work with copper. So he actually was able to buy the mine, I believe, in 2015, but he passed away in 2019.
His 7 children carry on his passion for mining and all things rocks.
My dad, being that he was a mining engineer, I mean, we would be down in Kentucky and he'd pull off the side of the road and be like, look at this mountainside, like this is a blah, 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 and here's a trilobite, and just always made rocks like really important in our lives. So it just kind of funneled naturally into like, at some point, having a business with rocks, because it was a big passion of his that, kind of trickled down to everybody. There's 7 siblings, so 6 of us live in the UP. 5 work at the mine, so you'll meet some of them throughout the day. But we're doing the piles. The boys are doing their specimens and trying to, sell more individual pieces of rock. And then my other brother is on top of the hill crushing. So any of the rock that we don't use down here that doesn't have anything left in it, he crushes it for gravel and railroads, whatever's needed. So like I said, everybody's kind of doing a little bit with it, trying to like test the waters of what we can do.
And what they've done is they've created the closest thing you can experience to copper mining. The family extracts ore from the thousands of tons of broken ore that remain inside the mine, pile it on the surface, and let people dig for their own treasures to keep.
It has so much potential and there's so many options. It's just trying to figure out, what we can do with it.
Ancient peoples, thousands of years ago, first discovered copper throughout these hills. Evidence of ancient mining pits, stone hammers, and copper artifacts have been found here since the arrival of copper miners in the 1800s. Today, these hills are tunneled by mine shafts and adits from various mining operations and copper explorations that followed the ancient miners' pits.
But then even just all along this trail that connects like Mass and Greenland, there's a ton of different areas where they started mining and then just stopped. So you can go anywhere in the woods and there'll be an area where they went in a little bit and then stopped. They're probably not marked. There's no great like door. It will just literally be like a hole. And that's, yeah, an area that they thought was rich and decided not.
And in case you don't know, which I did not, a shaft is a vertical mine opening and an adit is a horizontal opening.
As far as the way the mine is set up, there's no shaft, so it doesn't go down. It actually just goes horizontally into the side of the mountain. So the entrance here, down to the end, the tunnel is 1.5 miles in length, and then it connects with 2 other mines, with C Shaft and then the Nebraska mine.
The Caledonia Mine began operations in 1863 when it merged with the nearby Nebraska Mine, and in subsequent years, many of these smaller mines all merged together.
The layout once inside, so you have your main tunnel, then the miners mined up at a 45-degree angle into what's called a stope. So it's just giant rooms that all kind of funnel back down into the main tunnel. So a railroad cart like this one behind me would have gone into the mine and collect the rock from the stopes and just brought it right out. But unfortunately, we don't do tours. We leave that to Adventure Mine down the road. We do everything on the surface.
The only thing left of the original mine is the tram line that brought the ore out to be processed on site. The first mill burnt down in 1870. A new mill was built to stamp the ore a few years later, but that no longer stands either. The last year of mining at the Caledonia was 1958.
But it's such a rich history in the UP with, copper. And I think that people like to come and be a part of it. Obviously, there's not as many mines that, you can go in or mines that you can mine in, but this is about as close to close as you can get to actually going and finding a piece like they did back in the day. So it is really historical and rich for the area.
Even though they don't do underground tours, the Manos family brings that copper mining history to life today with this unique experience.
At the Caledonia, we offer 3 different types of piles. So depending on the size of your party and who all is coming would depend on which pile you book. For example, we have a family pile, which is 4 adults, and the main focus of that is to find copper. Then the smaller version of that would be a single pile, and that's for 2 adults. Our third option is a dadolite pile, and that's a specific kind of rock. You won't find a lot of copper in it, you can, but the focus is on the dadolite.
But before we dig into the piles, we need to know what to look for.
The main focus, the 3 kinds of rocks you want to be looking for are copper, silver, and dadolite. And that's in terms of value, but also in terms of, excitement. So for copper, the easiest way to find it, there's 3 ways. The first is going to be a beep. If you have a metal detector, it should be one of the only rocks that actually set it off. We definitely recommend bringing one. If you have one, it's going to be the easiest. Just wave your metal detector. If it beeps, there's copper somewhere in the rock. The second way is the color. And as you can see on this rock here, it's the traditional penny-colored copper. Otherwise, you're looking for kind of a blue-green color, and that's just an oxidized form of the penny color. So you're looking for the sound, the color, and then copper grows at really kind of crazy angles and protrusions. So you're looking for anything that's jagged, kind of coming off another rock. That's a great way to know that what you have is copper. The next rock that you want to keep an eye out for is going to be silver. Right here on the edge of this rock, and it looks exactly as you would expect. Really shiny, metallic. The best way to find it is going to be next to a green and white. Look for that color combination, and you're just going to kind of scout the edge of the rock, and that's more than likely where it'll be. The third rock is going to be the datolite, and the nodule form, which is this round rock, is only found in the UP and certain parts of northern Wisconsin. So it's very unique to the area. And what it is, it's a semi-precious soft rock. So the outside of it, you're looking for a bumpy surface. They call it cauliflower. And then either a gray or purple color to the outside. But the inside, you get these beautiful colors and a very porcelain, shiny feel. So this one has obviously been cut and polished. This one, too, is just a different color. Here's a pink with the white ring. You can find them, kind of pre-cracked like this. This was just found as is. So you've got one side that's just normal. The inside, you've got that kind of shiny look to it. We do stay down there with you. We have people that, just walk around, help you find it, but also if you have questions, we'll help you identify it. So once you feel good enough to start, we'll walk down to the base of the hill, and that's where the piles will be set up.
This story was given to me by Miles Tusa of Amasa, who wanted to visit the Caledonia to dig for copper. Miles was already down the hill and came prepared with metal detectors, a table, and chairs.
We provide a bucket with tools, so we'll have something for to scrape the pile, something, some handheld tools, and we have water supplied to each pile. So as far as tools go, we'd recommend the metal detector, although you can do it without it. But then closed-toed shoes is pretty much the only requirement.
I'm just gonna work the top a little.
Well, we recommend, spreading it out. So taking that fin hoe and kind of getting it spread out in the area. But everybody does it a little differently. Some people want to go around the edge, see if there's anything right on top, or go like one end to the other. It totally depends on how you want to approach it.
Nobody's ever touched this pile. It's right out of the inside of the mine. So there's no garbage. And it's not like a park where a million other people have metal detected it. That's the beauty. This is an oldie but goodie. That's a good sound. This one must have a lot of copper in it. Yeah, it's a beauty. And then I think there's more of it here too. This is strange, boy. This is pretty pure. Looks like mostly copper. An actual chunk. Pure copper. Ooh, what do we got here? Color looks good. Oh, sound. Music, that's a beauty. Holy cow. Wow. That's it. That's our baby.
There's copper in there.
I think everywhere where the green is pretty much is. Well, here I can feel little lumps. In fact, you can see them now that I touched them. I heard back in the early days, some of the miners would feel the wall because the copper left there was usually sharp.
You can find pretty much the three, types of copper, if you will. You can find mass copper, big native copper, I guess. You can find the sheet copper, and then you find copper ore, where it's just kind of locked in the rock. It's just sprinkled throughout the rock.
What's like the biggest chunk somebody's found since you've been out here?
We had someone this year find a piece of copper. It was roughly about the size of a grapefruit.
We have had some people find a lot of beautiful pieces that are really hard to let go, but also some unique things we've seen. Someone found a wedding band, and it's whatever is in that pile is yours to take home.
Something right here.
Miles' detector kept beeping, and as Bethany told us, the only thing that will set it off in these piles is copper.
See, this one you can't tell anything, but it's got copper. Well, I most recently retired from the state of Michigan in 2020. I was a computer guy. Prior to that, I was 20 years with Motorola, electrical engineer. I had a hand in cell phone development. Got my degree from Tech in '84. Went in the Air Force right out of high school. That's about it. Live in Amasa, enjoying it. Trout fishing is great. By the way, I brought 2 secret lures for you. I saw you trout fishing. These are secret. Don't let anybody see these.
I'll blur them out.
Aiden already knows what they are.
Thanks, Miles. Those will come in handy now that brookie season is finally here. Bethany, Preston, Aiden, and Darius helped us dig in the piles and gave Miles and I some pointers on how to find silver and dadolite, since the metal detector won't pick those up.
I'm really visual, so I love seeing the colors, and that just helps me with a better idea of what I'm looking for. It's very tiny, but it's there. Silver. Nice, and this is actually a rock that I would recommend cutting, just because you can't really see much on the outside. It's there, but my guess is the majority of it is in the inside. So.
Every rock's unique, and you had to find a nice little knob of silver on there. That's pretty cool. Give me a spray here, Beth.
Their trained eyes know what to look for.
Darius, is that a dadolite? Yes or no?
Yep.
It is? Really? Wow. Is it the white?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's that white, kind of like smooth stuff right there.
Okay.
That is really pretty. So this one would be a pink as opposed to the white, which is really nice. Very nice.
Much solid.
So much nicer to once you wash them off. But this whole rock is just full of copper. It's all in the base. I mean, it's almost all copper.
There's copper in there, yeah?
Right in the center.
Oh.
You know how sharp that copper is?
Yeah. After we had fun digging in the rock pile, the guys showed me how they cut and polish rocks.
Yep, it is nice because you don't have to go to a rock shop or anything to get your rock cut or polished for you. We can do it right here, and we don't charge you up the wazoo for it. It's $10 to get a rock cut and polished. Yeah, so we got a 6-wheel Cab King here. Any of the wheels on the left side here are grinding wheels. They'll just take more rock off, and the last 3 are polishing wheels. And they all go up in grit from 80 to 200 to, I think, 2,000. We got our 8-inch rock saw there for cutting rocks. We also have a slab saw for anything bigger. But this is where we do the cutting of the dadolite and then the polishing. Got a little pump system here. Water just helps not to scratch the rock. Sometimes those harder grit wheels will cut the rocks up and scratch them a little bit. So water just helps cool the rock down and keep it from getting scratched too badly. Put both hands on it, just because if you don't, it's going to get thrown out of your hands. Press it against the wheel, and then you kind of just slowly rock it back and forth. So now you can see all like the shiny copper in the rock. So what I typically do with the polishing wheels is I'll go 10 passes on each wheel, so 10 times up and down. Looking a little better. And that's the finished product. So the inside looks like outside, inside. You got dadolite in there, a little bit of copper in there also.
Thank you again to Miles for this story idea, and thank you to Bethany and her brothers for sharing their unique mind and expertise with us. To book your own pile to dig in, their website is caledoniamine.com, and they start up again for the summer at the end of May. That's all for tonight, and I hope to see you right back here next week for Upper Michigan's very own Discovering.